The call came while I was still in the field. Sand in my boots, gunfire in the distance, the taste of iron on my tongue. We were pulling 2 aid workers out of Aleppo when my radio crackled. The voice was trembling. "Major Hale, it's St. Vincent's Hospital. Your daughter is in critical condition." My knees went weak before I even heard the rest. She was hurt by your husband's new wife. The detective won't act. Her brother's the police chief. The nurse didn't know who she was talking to. I didn't speak. I just stared at the horizon, at the sun bleeding over the ruins, and said, "Evacs in 20. We're going home." He used to call me his compass, said I always knew where true north was. That was before the deployments, before the silence, before I came home to find his side of the bed cold and a lawyer's envelope on the table. He wanted peace, he said, stability, a woman who wasn't half a world away. I gave him both. I gave him a life. He took our daughter. I should have noticed sooner. The little bruises she said were from the playground. The way her eyes darted when she mentioned her. I'd seen those eyes before, in war zones, in victims who'd learned not to scream. But I trusted the system, filed the report, waited. The detective's smirk told me everything. "Domestic misunderstandings," he said. "Let's not escalate." He didn't even write it down. His badge number was the same as the chief's last name. I smiled, thanked him, left quietly. That was my last act of restraint. People think revenge is impulsive, a moment of rage. They're wrong. It's patience wearing armor. That night I sat in the dark beside my daughter's hospital bed, listening to her slow, shallow breaths. She was 8. Her hands were still small enough to fit inside mine. I traced the bruises like a map. Every mark had a name. Every name had a consequence. By dawn, the mission plan was clear. First target, information. I knew how to gather intelligence, years of recon, extraction, covert communication. The police chief's brother, Detective Rowe, had a gambling problem. Online betting, debt collectors closing in. A few digital breadcrumbs, a few forged transactions under his account, it was enough. When Internal Affairs opened an inquiry, he was too busy erasing his own trail to see mine. Then came her, the wife. She'd met my husband at a veterans fundraiser. Sweet smile, trembling voice, sympathy weaponized. Her social media was a shrine of family photos, all filtered perfection. One night I slipped into her account, not to destroy it, but to replace her mask. Every photo became evidence, every caption a confession. By morning, her page read like a diary of guilt. My husband called me then. "You need to stop," he said. His voice shook, not with anger, with fear. I almost pitied him. Almost. "I stopped once," I said. "Look what it cost." He hung up. It didn't take long for the cracks to spread. Detective Rowe was suspended. His brother, the chief, was forced into temporary leave. The wife's name hit local news. Abuse allegations in prominent family. And my husband? Well, his employer didn't like scandal. I didn't need to pull a trigger. All I had to do was remove their protection. Justice doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes it wears a uniform. When the warrant came through, I was already waiting in the driveway. Black SUVs, military plates. My team, the ones who owed me favors I'd never called in until that day. They didn't ask questions. They just stood behind me. The door opened. He looked older, softer. She looked terrified. For a moment I saw the life we almost had. Then I remembered my daughter's bruises. "This is illegal," he shouted. "No," I said quietly. "This is overdue." They were escorted out. Calm, professional, no violence. But the look in her eyes, when she realized who had pulled the strings, that was the justice I came for. Later, I sat beside my daughter again. She was sleeping, color returning to her cheeks. The doctor said she'd heal. Children are resilient, stronger than we think. I brushed her hair back and whispered, "You're safe now." She stirred, half awake. "Mommy?" "Yeah, baby." "Did you get the bad guys?" I smiled. They got themselves. It's strange, the quiet after revenge. No triumph, no fireworks, just peace. The kind I used to think only existed between wars. People will talk. They'll call it vigilantism, overreach, obsession. But those people never had to listen to their child's heartbeat through hospital machines. Tomorrow, the headlines will fade. The case files will close. And I'll go back to my post. Another mission, another broken world to mend. But this time, I know my true north, and it leads home.